There is this desire amongst these psychopaths to basically build robot warriors. Anyway, it goes further. Robert Paul Root Walp basically said they're trying to develop a new beam of light that would be projected onto your forehead. It would go a couple of millimeters and into your frontal cortex. Anyway, blah, 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 and then we could use a lie detection device. Now, what that's actually spawned as well is a field called neuromarketing. Now, neuromarketing is where they read your mind covertly to find out your buying patterns and your buying intentions. Now, all the major manufacturers are behind it, and what they're saying is, look, we can bring a product to market quicker, cheaper, and more effective for you because we can read your mind. Like, what a bonus.
Every day,
okay, this is extremely important. This is extremely important.
Every day, we generate 8 times the information found in all US libraries.
Where does it come from?
Store transactions, market movements,
emails, photos, videos, blogs.
What if technology could capture all this information
and turn it into intelligence?
We could identify patterns faster. We could predict with greater confidence. Convert data into actions.
Smarter information means smarter decisions.
Smarter decisions build a smarter planet.
That's what I'm working on.
I'm an IBMer.
What's IBM doing? Nafanya kazi IBM.
Let's build
a smarter planet.
We've actually changed that. We're doing a parody on it, which is I'm an IMer, which is International Enslavement Machines. So we'll have that video out within about a month. But anyway, you have WebSphere sensor events. Now, what WebSphere sensor events is basically the software program that will manage all the information flow. So what happens is in your country, I don't know whether you've got the smart grid. Let's save the planet and reduce your energy expenditure. So what happens is you invite this company to actually monitor your energy usage. Is that happening here? Yeah. Well, guess who that is? Correct. It's IBM. So here you have a company, right, to go to the next stage, where the sectors they want to dominate and can dominate and will dominate is aerospace defense, automotive, banking. They do 97% of all banking SWIFT. All transactions that go worldwide through clearinghouses is through IBM. Chemicals and petroleum, consumer products, education, electronics, energy utilities. What's missing? I don't know. Anyway, if you can instrument the items and offer software solutions to manage them, you control the flow of the following industries as IBM has stated in their own literature. So what you have is total and utter control of all information and product flows operating above all world governments. So what you have here is you have a company that they are larger than the UN. They are running the globe. Now, the Genographic project. You always need good cop, bad cop. IBM partnered with National Geographic and went around collecting DNA from people to basically find out the human migration. And of course they said this is going to be used for good, and but to me it sounds like a really good platform for eugenics, doesn't it? Now we go through to the next step where Google has actually got a company called 23andMe, which is seed funded by Google. Now, it goes down to the whole biometrics, the lust of harvesting you into the mainframe. So when IBM actually released the DNA transistor, they could actually bring down sequencing of a genome down to $100 from the $3 billion it initially cost. What you have is you basically have the ultimate biometric marker for you. So once we have your genome sequence, we have you. It's as simple as that. Now, as mentioned, these are the Nazi war criminals that are working on this project. Eric Green was honest enough to say, it is a digital code, and now that we have the code, the fun stuff begins. Don't forget Project Checkmate, lovely name. What they do is they take 80,000 blue gene processors, basically put the flu into as a computation or and they mutate it. They have various algorithms, and they basically work it out and say, look, we'll throw this variable into it. What would happen if, you know, India got the swine flu, right? What would actually happen to the airports? And then what they do is they then build the models and plug in other variables, including, well, what happens if we give more Tamiflu? Will the actual flu mutate more and more, and will it become, you know, the virulent strain that will actually kill? So what you have here, and look, I'm a big believer of semantics. They're telling you this is Project Checkmate. I mean, this is Project Checkmate. They're not doing it. After the last speech as well, it's certainly for not vaccines, but anyway. It is actually for vaccines.
30% of the data stored on the world's computers will be medical images.
The trouble is, all of that information is trapped.
X-rays aren't talking to...
Medical records aren't talking to...
Patient histories aren't talking to...
Insurance forms.
We're trying to connect all that data.
Make it smart.
We would see the patterns in your medical history.
In the histories of entire populations.
Predict dangerous drug combinations.
We could tailor cures
to your genetic code.
Put the focus...
Tailor cures to your genetic code.
That's what I'm working on.
I'm an IBMer. Let's build a smarter planet.
Okay, now, the major lie that is coming from the transhumanists and from human plus people is that for mankind to evolve, we need to put microprocessors in our brains, right? Meanwhile, in the back end, what they are doing is they basically are working on reverse engineering the item that's in your head right now, which is the human brain. For them, it is the holy grail. They hope to have actually achieved a human brain or a photocopy of it in silicon, which is you're taking a biological neural network and creating it in an artificial, say in silicon basically. And the hope behind that is that that will actually develop consciousness. And the consciousness that it will develop will basically be the decision maker that will make all the decisions for the military and will make all the decisions based on all this information that's been harvested through the radio frequency ID. Now, the next stage, once they've actually reverse engineered the brain, what they want to do is crack the holy grail, which is the algorithm of thinking, basically, your software for your brain. So what has happened is mankind has taken for granted how special we really are. Like, we are unique individuals at the end of the day. We've been sold this lie that computers, you know, yeah, a computer can process faster than me. We're infinitely more powerful than computers will ever be, right? And what they're doing is they're doing the bait and switch. They're offering us a pogo stick at the end of the day, right? And there's a spacecraft that we have. There's no comparison. Now, listen to this psychopath, please. And look, what he does, what he says, there's some honest interviews with him, and how he distances himself from the philosophical question. He goes, I'm just an engineer, right? Like, because I'm an engineer, I just do my role, and I might destroy the entire populace, but that's what engineers do.